Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast. I'm 10 Types, as always, joined by Uncommon Fossil.
Howdy, and glad to be here today.
Yep, and today we are talking about the new set, or the new two sets in Japan, Black Bolt and White Flare. These were revealed a while ago, apparently last November. I kind of forgot about them, and things are a little weird with this, and that is because this set is it's like a mini set. It's, I believe, still kind of in the Scarlet and Violet, or I believe it is in the Scarlet and Violet era, the last Scarlet and Violet set, but it's a mini set. So Dust and Vitals, we were talking about this a lot previously, and it's a we're saying like it's the last set, but this is a little different, right? So this is after that, and we're not 100% sure on all the details at this point, but the set is gonna have all 156 Unova Pokemon, which is cool, and it's kind of like 151 in that regard. And then yeah, we're gonna take a look at the cards today and talk about them because they're kind of interesting.
Right, so this is the 151 version for the Gen 5 Pokemon, the black and white era. And we've got, the initial Pokemon. We had got some yesterday when we decided we were going to do it. And then they actually dropped some this morning before recording, which I've taken a brief look at, but I didn't get to dig into all of them. And there's some synergy there. So I think I don't know if there's any like crazy Pokemon, but I think there's some solid Pokemon, which is what I like to see.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, let's just hop right in because this is a pretty interesting set. And oh yeah, let's just hop right in. But the first set, we got the starters here. We got some stage 2 EXs. Though they're not all EXs. Only one of those an EX. So we got Superior EX here. This one has the ability Royal Cheer. It says attacks used by your Pokemon do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before weakness and resistance, and it's just going to be used from the bench, and it stacks. It also has its attack Grass Order for grass and 3 colors. It does 150. When you search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand, then you shuffle your deck.
Yeah, I mean the attack's not great. Certainly, the ability, the fact that it stacks makes it intriguing. The stage 2, I don't love grass necessarily, so I'm not sure how good it's going to be. But plus 20 damage, and well, no, it doesn't have to be for grass Pokemon. It's just for any attacks. So it's not limited to grass. So it doesn't matter. You can ramp up damage whatever you want. So decks that play a rare candy, are they going to play this? Maybe. I'm not. I could guess it's not going to see a lot of play, but it's a solid card.
Yeah, and the stacking is kind of cool. We've seen cards kind of like this before. There's like a King Gambit, which is similar-ish, which isn't very good. I don't think I've ever seen it played, maybe once or twice. And then there is the attack's like interesting because it like gets you cards, but generally attacks like this I think aren't super good. There's Blissey EX, which is it's a pretty good Pokemon in standard in my opinion, but it's not really for its draw effect of its attack, which is like fine. It helps out the card a little bit, but the main thing is like all the other stuff. The ability, and the high HP is good, and the attack's fine, and the draw adds to it. But this isn't like super impressive. It's all
Well,
right,
no,
it's fine.
it's not draw through. It's you search your deck, right? So
Yeah,
that's
you search for through. It's like a similar like thing though.
yeah. I mean, like say Greninja EX, right? That attack is okay. Searches for one card. That searching for one card does help out the Greninja EX a lot, I think. So searching for three look. That's a lot to do. You'll get Iona to judge some, but not all the time. Obviously, 150. Well, it's at 170, right? With the ability is a base essentially. 4 energies. It's going to be awkward. So I think it's going to, if it gets used, it's going to be a support for other attackers, I imagine.
Yeah. And I think like with Junji, actually, yeah, the searching does help. Searching for 3 isn't like exactly 3 times as good as searching for 1. You get most of the. I mean, it depends exactly what you need, right? But
Right.
usually you don't need 3 more cards to your hand. It's not bad, but you need probably 1, maybe 2. But it's just a cool card. It's also very expensive. There's like kind of ways to power it up. We'll actually talk about one later on. But yeah, it's a little. It looks sketchy at first. I think it is kind of okay, but not something super good. Then let's skip the Victini. Let's go to the next starter here with Embor. This is a reprint, or no, this is a like a pseudo reprint. Embor which originally in the black and white, I think the black and white base set had the card with the ability Inferno Fandango, and this says, as often as you'd like during your turn, you may attach a fire energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Then does 120 for 4 here, has 180 HP, so stats are a bit stronger, but the stats aren't anything crazy. It does have 4 retreats well, which isn't ideal, but obviously, this ability we've seen on Baxcalibur and Standard. Baxcalibur isn't a standout amazing Pokemon, but it is a Pokemon that is definitely it's pretty solid, right? It's kind of good.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's necessarily an amazing partner for this, but it is a good ability to have.
Right. Look, I mean, it's Baxcalibur ability for fire energy. So, now you can power up your Charizard EXs that much easier, I guess, right? I
Yeah, you can do the other Charizard EX.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, Baxcalibur was very good when it came out with Chen Pao. I don't know if this is going to have a partner that really makes it pop off or not. We'll have a couple other fire ones. I do want to come back to the Victini though, because I do want to give that some
Yeah.
love as well. But it isn't one of the starters, so I get why we skip it. So, ability on stage 2, yeah. I mean, it's Baxcalibur. Retreat cost of 4 is pretty rough. So, and the attack is pretty terrible. But definitely, it's a worthwhile card for sure.
Yeah, one that I think it could be good. There's also a Reshiram EX, which we'll talk about after we finish up with the starters. And it's fine. It's nothing crazy, nothing. I mean, we'll get to it, but it's not like a
Yeah.
Pokemon that has specific synergy with Emboar. Then we have the Samurott. Samurott here has it's a stage 2, of course. It's a water. It's a not an EX, and it has the ability Strong Currents. Once during your turn, you may switch one of your active with one of your bench, and then force your opponent to switch. So it's like playing Escape Rope. Or something like that. And then for 1 water, you do 30, you do 50 more for each energy attached to this Pokemon. This, I guess, could be a partner for the Emboar, though that seems kind of bad. But yeah, the attacks, like, this could be, I guess it would be, like, objectively better with Baxcalibur. But it's,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, the ability seems okay. Not awesome.
Um, yeah, I mean, you switch and you do the switching first, right? And then your opponent, they choose what goes to the active, right? That's very clear. And you have to do your action first. So, but so it's a lot like, I mean, if you need switching, if you're like pre-rotation with uh the stall
Oh,
guy.
lost him.
No,
Oh, Snorlax.
Snorlax. Sorry, yeah, I blocked him out of my mind because of post-traumatic stress. I think there.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So
What?
what? No, I'm not that.
Block? Huh?
Yeah, I'm not that good. Don't worry. It wasn't intentional. So it gives some gusting or some switching if you need it. I don't think we need that. It's a lot like the iron, the basic that does the same thing, but it's a basic, so it's
Uh,
better. Um, the
the Latias
No, it's iron something,
or
right?
the Pekka?
Iron bundle,
Um,
iron.
Iron Bundle. Oh, for the
The
gusting
gusting.
aspect.
You
Yeah,
don't switch,
the
but it
Iron
does the
Bundle.
gusting because I think the gusting's the bigger part of the effect for the samurai, right? You want this because it's sort of a ball. It's like it's escape rope, right? On an ability is what it is. So if you want that little gust where your opponent chooses, like Iron Bundle, but Iron Bundle's a basic, so it's just kind of yes, you could do this every turn. So maybe some disruption type deck. The attack's not bad though, right? You're gonna pair it with Excalibur, I guess. You're already playing Rare Candy, so maybe it goes in that deck, right? Because it scales nicely at 50 per energy. That's not a bad thing. So
It feels like it's okay. Yeah.
it's a better attack than the other ones we talked about, right? Of these starters.
Um, Maybe I think Superiors is okay. None of them are super strong, right? This is like it's
Right.
usable, I guess. The ability also, like I think the switching is nice. It's like Gengar, which lets you switch every turn. I've actually played this card some. It's a little niche. I think yeah, that was played to counter Snorlax. It looks like within Charizard. Um, and then of course replaced by Pekka EX eventually. But
Yeah.
it's like okay. It's not really. I think if there was a Samurai EX or like a different like Samurai that was good, this could be a solid support one of, but there's not.
Oh, is this the card to unlock uh Palafin EX? We had the
Uh,
Pecker run to do it, but it's better to stick with the water, right? And we have an attack, so maybe
wait, why
now
is it better? I mean, it was better pre-rotation with the Irida, but
yeah. Well, Irida
like
would make
I
this
guess you can
card a
attack
lot.
with it.
Well, I mean, the Pecker run, you didn't really want the Pecker run in the deck, right? You had that for gusting, right? For the switching, but you didn't love the Pecker,
Yeah,
right? I mean, having a water attacker, I mean, to make the attack valuable, though, you need to have back Scalloper, and that's just too much for that deck. So I don't know. I'm just trying. I'm tossing
yeah.
something out there. I guess you're shooting it down, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think this card, I kind of like Samurai as a Pokemon. I want it to be good, but I don't think it's super good. But again, I think it could be a one of in a certain in like decks if there is something that is really looking for something like this, or that it like slots really easily into like a Samurai line, but there's not really that. But then we're gonna move to I guess we'll talk about Victini next. The fire basic here. Oh, there's a bunch of fire base. There's a few. But it is 120 for 2 fire on a basic V Force. And then if you have less than 5 bench Pokemon, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so you need a full bench, right? Or unless you have the Terra Stadium that
Yeah, Area Zero under that.
yeah, Arizona does. So, but basically, you need a full bench, and assume at 80 HP, you're getting knocked out every turn. So you better be able to have at least that extra Pokemon to fill your bench the next turn, or you're doing nothing. You also have to you need Embor in play or something because you got to power it up. It's 2 energy. So
You could do Mela. Um,
oh, and I know you think Mela's the great supporter that's being slept on by people, right?
exactly. And I think it's kind of bad, but it's not that bad. But I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna probably play some Firebox, and I'll
Yeah.
play that. But
I
it's not super strong though. This one's also a pseudo reprint. This one's I guess it's pretty similar to the they're these Victinis all kind of blend together. Oh, it's called V Create. Wait, no, was there one with V Force? I'm not really sure. I think it's V Blast. No, I think it's V Create. But this is like arguably worse because that one was 4 bench Pokemon. So it does 100. Like the stats are a little better. Well, actually, no, this one also has 80 HP. The other one had 70, so that'd actually be better in standard. So um, this one was in black and white again, so quite a while ago. It was okay then. It was not a like a particularly bad card, but it wasn't like anything crazy. And yeah, I feel like this just isn't really enough damage. Even like you can use it turn one, I guess, or no, it's really hard to use turn one.
yeah.
It's theoretically possible. If you could, it would be okay, but not super impressive, and you probably won't be. So I think it's pretty niche.
Yeah, I mean, what it really wants magma base in format, right? I would think so you can power it up turn one.
Yeah.
So, because if you could do it turn one, of course, turn one you're less likely to fill up the bench because you're more reliant upon what your random starting hand is. Now, I will point out this does have if you blow up the card if you're looking at the video, there's a new hollow pattern, right? Around the edges, so it's
Oh yeah.
horizontal. So for people that's a big deal. This is a card that
I think it's
should.
actually an old one.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, there's also some black and white cards, which I don't like remember, but apparently there's a thing. So, then we have the legendary. What is this trio called? I don't remember. Um, the Yin and Yang trio or whatever. So, we have a Reshiram EX. This one is another fire basic. It's an EX, of course. It does for 3. It does 2 which are fire, which is 130, 50 more for each prize your opponent's taken. Then you discard an energy from this Pokemon, and also all 3 of the whatever the trio's called. Oh, it's the dragon. I don't remember. But they all do more for prizes taken.
Yeah.
In different. Oh, the Zekrom EX. I'll actually point that one out as well. Voltage burst. Oh, they also do 50 for 2, but then it does 130 for lightning colors and 50 more for each prize your opponent's taken, and then it does 30 to itself. So essentially the same thing there.
Right. They all have 230 HP, which seems to be the new HP number for basic EXs. So it's gotten a little bit higher. So gonna make, changes the math. You just got to pay attention to that. Look, I like these Pokemon. We'll start off obviously with the Reshiram here. It needs 3 energy. That's a little awkward. So I guess you're relying on the Embor to power it up, or 2 Embors
Yeah.
to power it up.
It could be. Wait, what?
Well, Oh no, as often as you like. That's right. You just need one in play. You can
Yeah, you can do Armors
well,
with like Ethan's Ho EX or something.
yes, you could do that. You can obviously get two in play with Crispin, but you still need that third one. Assuming you're getting knocked out every turn. If you're getting knocked out every turn, there's a good chance you're losing the game, though, right? You've got to survive some hits, I would imagine, occasionally to win with this. So slash for 50 is not too good. It's this 130 plus 50 more for each prize card. So if they've taken two prize cards, you're at 230. Taken three, what we're at, 280, right? So that's kind of the number you want.
Yes.
And once you've taken four, now you're doing more. See, I'm also wondering, you slap this into a Charizard EX deck. It uses the fire energy, right? And once they've taken
Yeah, that could be good.
four prizes, this does more damage than the Charizard EX, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think after was it do more after 3? I think it does also do more after 3. So it's like pretty solid. It's not, insanely strong, but it's decent. It has like less HP, which is a big deal. But you do have potentially Dust Snore. Charizard DX also doesn't play that much now, but I think it's still pretty good. Um, and yeah, I feel like it like slots okay into that. The issue with that, one issue is that you only have so much energies, and so kind of committing a lot to a Pokemon that's
Yeah.
probably getting knocked out easier. But it could be definitely an option there. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would think about slapping one in probably for there's going to be some games, probably even 25% of the time where in the mid game you're going to get a knockout on an EX that you wouldn't otherwise, in which case it's worth that commitment of the energy probably. So, a Reshiram deck in and of itself, I think is going to be tough. And the other thing is because it's two fire or two water or two lightning plus a colorless for each, depending on the type. I don't know that you can build a box deck with all of them, right? Which would be fun to do, but I think that's going to be very problematic,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I guess I don't think it's like awesome to do with all of them because they're all like pretty similar. Um, so you don't get that much extra value. You get like a little extra value from extra weakness hitting, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's like it's fine. Oh, also it is Charizard DX, of course, is a darkness type Pokemon using fire energy. So if you want to hit fire weakness, this is an option. But like that's I don't know, it's not amazing. I mean, it's an okay
Well,
weakness to be hitting.
well, it's
Golden goes like good. Caledon's good, but you can't always hit that for weakness.
also the grass Pokemon too, right? Because if they're playing a grass Pokemon to take out your Charizard, now you have a fire Pokemon that hopefully can one shot their grass Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that would be though. Like there's like Ogerpon, but you're probably fine there. Um, and Charizard's probably good enough. Or it's
Uh,
not, and then Reshiram probably also isn't good enough.
yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. That's true. You probably would want. Yeah, that's a fair point. Um, so I think it's going to be tough to. I mean, yeah, do you do it? I mean, you could look at expanded with Welder and stuff, but then you probably have better options, right, for fire Pokemon. But I'm just trying to think what we do with it right now. Like I said, I consider it for Charizard. I'm not sure what else with the fire one in particular. What you're going to do with it?
Yeah. Do you have other comments on Zekrom EX? Or no, we need to talk about it later a little bit. But
Well,
I feel like it's different. Obviously, it's not something you're putting in Charizard DX. Lightning, in my opinion, is bad right now. Or wait, what are the Lightning decks? There's the Joltik deck, which I think's bad. Have you actually played that deck or
I
like
no,
seen it?
I haven't played it and I haven't really seen it. So I know it's getting some hype and stuff. So I have to need to take a look at it. Look, I think Zekrom's the best of the three. I got to say, I think this one is viable.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's like the same as the Reshiram, right? I mean, it's a different type,
Well, it's
but
because it's lightning type.
it's
So
the
I mean, I don't think I'll say for Kirim, I don't think there's really something better with that. I mean, do you put it in a Chen Pao deck as a one of? I don't. Not that people are playing
yeah.
Chen
Oh,
Pao
and what that one
Excalibur.
does, um, oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, cutting you off. So yeah, what that does as well, I didn't say that, is that it does 10 more for each prize of your opponent. Does 10 damage to your opponent's bench for each prize
Okay.
that they've taken. And it starts at 130 to their active, no bench damage.
All right, yeah, sorry. So to finish up on the Zekrom, what makes Zekrom, I think, better is we have the Magneton, which we have in its format now with the Overload, Overvolt discharge. stage one, so not too tough to get in play. You can accelerate three lightning energies from three basic energies to your lightning Pokemon. I guess they don't
Yeah,
really
of
have.
any type.
I guess of any type within this deck, you're going to make it a lightning energy, and then it knocks itself out. So you get the energy, so you power it up fully with that ability, and you give up a prize, so you can manipulate the damage as well. And if you have a couple basics on the bench of the Magnemite, actually you can evolve the Magneton anyway. You use the ability when you want. It's not on play. So you get those Magnetons there, get them ready to fire off when you want the energy and or the damage manipulation. So I think Zekrom is better than Reshiram.
Um, yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, I think it well, okay, we're gonna talk about different Pokemon in a moment, but yeah, I kind of agree with that. And it like Magneton, I've never been a big. I talked to say I don't like Lightning. I didn't really like Miraidon that much either. I thought it was kind of bad. Um, I played Magneton. Magneton was good there, but it was potentially like really good for Raichu, which rotated. Um, so I think Magneton is okay. It also gets countered by Psyduck, which is coming out at some point, presumably, hopefully.
Well,
So that's a card that'll probably see some play to counter Dusknoir, and then it also counters Magneton. Um, so that's like a little annoying. I don't know if it'll be a big deal, but that is something to keep an eye out for.
right. What the Psyduck does, if you're not familiar, it's got an ability damp. If I don't know if the translation will change, that Pokemon with the ability that knocks that Pokemon out can't. It does not have that ability. So not that they can't use it, the ability doesn't exist, I guess, which is an odd way to phrase it, but same effect. So stops you're from knocking yourself out. And obviously these, so that's going to be a big deal if any of these three, what the Dragon three or whatever they're called, are viable. If and when that Psyduck comes out, will be a big deal. The Psyduck is a special promo in Japan, so really don't have an idea when it comes out. So I would like to see these three Pokemon in play and format without Psyduck to give them a better chance. Because I don't think these Pokemon are overpowered. So but the if Psyduck's around, it's going to make it a lot tougher.
Yeah, specifically for if you wanted to do Zekrom Magneton. Um,
Right.
I guess if you're pairing it with like Reshiram EX for like Dusknoir or something, but yeah, and then speaking of the Kyurem, I think the
Yeah.
Kyurem EX is okay. It does spread damage. It's like it can do pretty solid spread damage and solid active damage. Um, it's not insanely strong like high damage, but it's okay. Um, I think they're all like okay. But we'll talk about the Zekrom EX a tiny bit more a bit later. I'm just going to go on to the next set of cards, and these are, I think, a lot more interesting in my opinion. So I'm going to start with the Electric with the ability Dynamotor. This is a reprint of, essentially an exact reprint of the Electric from the Black and White era from, I believe, yeah, Noble Victories, and it says Dynamotor, once in your turn, before you attack, you may attach some basic lightning energy. I believe it essentially has to be basic, from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. And then Electric is like a reprint of Flaffy, which was a reprint of Electric. So yeah, if you played with Flaffy, which again with Dynamotor, then that's the same card. And Flaffy was solid. I was not a big, again, I didn't really like Rhydon that much. I thought it was kind of I don't know, not very strong. But Flappy was nice for that deck. That was quite a while. Or that was yeah, it was a bit of a little while ago. Um, in Evolving Skies. So, anyways, yeah, this is like a reprint of a reprint, and there are plenty of cards like it as well. And abilities like this are good. This is pretty good for Zekrom EX, I think. For like a Lightning Box style deck. I'm not a big fan of the Joltek deck because I just generally don't like attacks, like setup attacks. Um, I think they can be okay, but oftentimes they're not super good. I think Team Evolution is like the best of them, and which I guess I think is good, but not like absolutely insane. I definitely play it some, but I think Joltik isn't super good. Um, Obviously that deck's kind of built around like Pikachu EX, but you still have like Iron Hands EX. You have Iron Thorns EX, which is still good. Theoretically, I mean, it can definitely disrupt things and it can be good. You still have Miraidon EX, and you can use that to use the ability Dynamotor to get a bunch of energy onto the board repeatedly because the Joltek deck, you can struggle to get energy onto the board in like the middle to later parts of the game, and you can literally just run out as well. That doesn't happen in electric. It's a little less explosive than Joltec, um, but I think it's a really cool ability. And I mean, we saw it with Miraidon before with Flaffy, and that was pretty solid. And I think it'll still be good.
Yeah, I mean, Flaffy certainly saw play. So yeah, this will see play for sure. Lightning box, anything opens up to a box style deck. I'm a fan of that. So it opens up a lightning box, which will include the new the Zekrom, but you might just slap in one copy or two at the most, probably, which is fine there. We do have electric generator to accelerate energies as well early game. So if you're worried about energy acceleration, you might put some copies of that in the deck. So a good card we'll see play. And there is the stage two, the Electros, so which has a bit of a silly attack, I would say. Well, the first one lightning, does 60, flip for paralysis, which is kind of a standard kind of thing. And they're obviously really reliant on the coin flips. But the other attack is even more coin flippy, but I guess I would say it's more fun. So it's kind of a silly card for a silly deck. Four energies, lightning colorless. You flip four coins, 100 per head. So you're going to average 200, but you'll get to one shot some high HP stage 2 EXs occasionally. So if that's the type of game you want to play, you could build a little Electros meme deck as well.
Yeah, it's like pretty expensive. You do have electric to pay it, but it's still quite a bit. But obviously, it's not like super good. I think it's probably pretty bad, right? But it is funny. And then the Dynamo also has free retreat and has 40 HP, so that's cool, I guess. It can heal itself as well as attack 10, which is terrible. But
Yeah, assuming you're
yeah,
not
you
knocked
have
out,
you have
right?
free retreat.
If they did somewhere between
Yeah.
10 to 30 damage, it's essentially a baby Pokemon, but it's not, right? Um, and I think
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's not a free attack.
correct, and it's one more HP. I think a bunch of the Dynamo in the past had 30 HP. I'm thinking, but I could be wrong about that. It's always been a low
Yeah,
HP
yeah.
Pokemon, so
Yeah, there's like free retreat 30 HP ones, but anyways, so that's like cool, I guess. A pivot is fine. We'll actually again talk about pivots a bit later, but electric does have two retreats, so that can get stuck. But
yeah.
again, we'll talk about that. Then we have the last Pokemon to look at here, which is going to be the Stoutland line. This one I don't think is super interesting, but Stoutland for two colors on stage two does you flip three coins for each heads, put a card from your discard into your hand. We've seen attacks like this before. I think they've been on stage ones, though I don't remember, and they haven't been super good. But yeah, you have that, and then special fang for three colorless. You do 100 if it has any. I can't speak. If it has any special energy on it, then you do 100 more. We'll talk about a card that helps with this in a moment, but it's still not that good, right? It's expensive. It's on a stage two, and it's not super strong. It's moderately strong, but it's not really where you want it.
Right, it's 200 damage if you have a special energy. It's four energies, so it's with the new energy, it's going to be still at least two energies attachment, so you can't power it up in one turn. And 200 damage is not enough. The question is that first attack for two colorless going to be enough? You're going to average what, one and a half cards from the discard pile to your hand. So that's for a control deck. If you had like for one energy, we're going to just put one card from the discard pile into your hand. It might see play on a stage two. It's pretty tough though. So I have my doubts, but at some point, right now, there's walling decks in format, I think, but the walling relies upon the active Pokemon serving as a wall somehow. The Stoutland doesn't do that, so you probably can't afford the tack in between. If we get to other cards that are more hard control style decks, then being able to put multiple cards from the discard pile into your hand each turn, could become viable.
Yeah, I think this might be based on there's like a stout or no, I guess it's a Stoutland deck. I'm not super familiar with the deck, but it's like a control deck, um, which like kind of works like this, but where you like recover stuff, but you actually also support or lock your opponent and like do a lot of stuff. The deck's like, um, wait, this is how you play Shock Lucky. So that's like something. Um, it's kind of weird, but anyways, that deck. I think that's what this is supposed to be based on. I'm not really sure. It seems kind of bad, but
Yeah.
maybe you can get something with the first attack.
Well, because I think it's designed to be controlled. Because if you look at the stage one, the herdier, it's for one energy. Your opponent switches their active with one of their bench. So again, you're trying to disrupt. So it seems like right. That's really like on the stage one. That's the attack it used. The other's three energies for 70. And even the four energies for 200 is really not good enough. So I think it's these disruptive, control type things, if it's going to be viable. And right now, it doesn't see, honestly, I don't think it's ever going to be viable while it's in standard format. And I hope they don't print the cards to make that Odor Sleuth attack viable, right? Because hard control can make life pretty unpleasant for everyone.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ursaluna that we saw as well a little while ago with Pete Hunt, which recovered 2 cards for 1 colorless on the stage 2. So this is, I mean, theoretically you can get 3, but it's probably just worse. But yeah, anyways, probably enough of that. Let's move on to Ignition Energy. I think we'll talk about this one's related. This is how you power up the second attack. It's 3 colorless and or no, so. It says, I'll just read it. If this card is attached to one of your Pokemon, discard it at the end of your turn. And it provides 1 colorless will attach to a Pokemon. And if this card is attached to an evolution, it provides 3 colorless instead. This is supposed to be very similar to Triple Acceleration Energy. I think it's objectively a little bit better. Triple Acceleration Energy could only be attached to evolution Pokemon. Also, its text is kind of clunky. This is actually still kind of clunky, but it's not that clunky, but anyways, it's a 1-turn, 3 color energy attack. Can be used for Stoutland. It's kind of like Reversal Energy. Obviously, it's like objectively worse if Reversal Energy is active. But this can, well, no, it's not. It can also be, this can be used on Rulebox Pokemon as well.
Right.
So I don't know the use case of this, but it could be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question is what. I mean, I'm not looking to use it on Stoutland, probably, right? I don't think that. I mean, maybe that's kind of the pairing here, but it can work on Rulebox Pokemon. So, right, there's got to be some good things out there that could use it, right? I got to
Yeah, I'm
imagine.
looking real quick. And I see, okay, I saw this green, but that's bad. Wigglytuff EX is, oh, huh, okay. Wigglytuff EX is an interesting Pokemon. Its ability says if it has a special energy attached, it gets 100 more HP, but then the special energy gets discarded, so that's not so good. But you could do 180 for 2 color or for 3 colors on stage 1, and then if you play a supporter, it's actually not super good. Blissey EX could use this. It's not insane synergy. I looked at Pokemon in standard that are EXs with an attack cost of 3 colors. I guess I could look at non-EXs. Most of these don't look super good, but
Uh,
yeah, I feel like there should be some good partners.
All right, so I'm going to talk expanded a second, just to annoy you. No, not just to annoy you. I think this is actually. I mean, my first thought was if this was around when Arceus was in format, that would have been awesome for Arceus, right? You'd agree with that, right?
Yeah, and that's played an expanded some, right? Arceus with triple acceleration
I
energy. I mean, I don't pay much attention, but I've seen that.
right, and so if we have well, but triple acceleration doesn't work on rule boxes, right? So this you can power up the Arceus with as
Yeah. Oh
well.
wait, I found a card which is Oinkalon. I'm just gonna read this real quick.
Ah, yeah.
And it says flip 3 coins to put a number of cards up to the number of heads from your discard into your hand, but it's a stage 1, so that's objectively better than the stat one because it's on a stage 1. I mean, I guess it has less health, but yeah, just found that and wanted to point that out. That's unfortunate for Stoutland. I forgot that card was in standard.
Let's see, and then the other thing that comes to mind, which goes back to expanded, and maybe you can have some craziness here, is with Lugia with Archeops. Now I can accelerate 4 of these on 1 turn to a Roblox Pokemon. I can get
Yeah,
12 energies to something that can now potentially
and you
just
can attach like a 5th one from hand too.
not of the same energy, but yes, correct.
Well,
So,
of like the other one, right?
yeah.
Because they're essentially the same. So you can
Although,
play 8,
but this you
which
can
is
put on a
a little
Rulebox
less.
Pokemon too, which like it's so
We could put the other one on a rule box Pokemon too,
okay.
right?
So
Triple acceleration.
I thought what was the limit? I thought you couldn't with that one.
No, you're thinking of
Oh,
reversal. Triple
reversal.
acceleration is
Okay.
essentially the same. You can't
Okay.
attach it to base or to basics at all. But yeah,
Okay. So now you've got more energies of that type for Lugia. So if you want, I imagine you could have a little bit of fun with that with it. But
Yeah.
and hey, my
So
old
I found some stuff.
go ahead, and we'll also use triple
I,
acceleration in was it Mad Party? I'm trying to think what back in the old what it
yeah,
was.
but it wasn't that good. Like you twin and double
Yeah,
colorless are better.
that's true.
Um,
Okay, all right, go ahead.
yeah, I found it. The ultimate partner is Wug Trio.
Oh, Wug Trio that then they what is it? You flip three
You
coins.
mill.
Was it you
Yeah, you mill.
one per energy attached? Is that what it does?
No, you what? No, it's three colors. You flip
Okay,
three for each heads. Discard the top three, and then you can pair it right now with double turbo. But then or no, you can
not
pair it
no.
with reversal energy. Um,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But you only have four energies. So then instead you probably want to pair it with. I just clicked on a random list and it plays Fortress EX and it doesn't play any grass
Oh, see,
energies. But
Fortress EX.
um,
Yeah, my guy
so
there.
maybe not that one, but yeah, you can pair. You now have eight energies. I was just really caught off guard by that. But yeah, you can have eight energies. I played the deck some, and it like struggles to find the energy. So this is legitimately like a really good upgrade to the deck. It is a little bit worse than reversal. Generally, reversal will essentially always be active, for essentially the entire game. And then ignition energy, I mean, also is obviously always active, but gets discarded after one turn. So that's kind of awkward, but it's still fine. It's you're probably getting knocked out anyways. So this is I think it's okay. I don't think it hooked you is super good. It's averaging milling four. I mean, if you attack every turn with this, there's a good chance you're gonna win actually.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's not a bad energy for Wug Trio. Once you have eight energies, they both have their special conditions in terms of how they work. But I think, but you can probably you could make it the energy flow. I think with that. So, yeah, and there's got to be some other thoughts out there too, right? You can let us know in the comments on our YouTube channels other thoughts for this energy because I think because this one just opens up possibilities, right? We just got to figure out what they are.
Yeah. Then we have some other cards, and let's talk about the other special energy now. I guess this card is Prism Energy. This card I'm really excited for. You mentioned Lugia, and with Archeops, accelerates a bunch of special energy. And first we saw it with Aurora Energy, right? And that was like
Yeah.
super broken. And then they were like, okay, we can't print any more of this type of energy until it rotated. So it rotated. Now it's not quite the same. Prism Energy is a reprint again of a black and white era card, and it says it provides colorless energy. But if it's attached to a basic Pokemon, it provides every type, but only one at a time. So it's like a rainbow, any type energy.
Yeah.
Um, Prism Energy certainly saw play, but of course the metagame was very different when it was in standard. Oh, I guess it's Team Blade expanded, but it's not super good. Well, that's obviously very different. I'd say standard. I don't know which is more similar. But this card is really interesting. We have Luminous Energy in standard, which is any type and on any
Yeah.
stage, but only if you have one special energy, which can cause really big issues. This I really like with Armors. You can move it around. Now you can actually have multiple Prism energies and move them to the same Pokemon, and they are still actually providing multiple
Mhm.
energies or energies of different types. So I don't know exactly how you get these on the board. Giovanni's Charisma, I think, does accelerate, but that's like kind of sketchy. Um, and then, yeah, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. In the comments, if anyone knows of good ways to accelerate special energy in standard, that'd be cool. But Prism Energy is a really, really, theoretically strong card. Basics obviously are good. It's not helpful for everything, but it's helpful for a bunch of things.
Right. It opens up the possibility of big basic decks, right? Of a box style big basic decks of a collection of types. What that would be, and I'm not sure because you're most generally you need more than one energy to attack with, so you're going to need some acceleration, I guess, and such. So, which usually is the basic energies, right? Which we do have options for that. So you could obviously like with the new Pokemon that's accelerating the lightning energy, you could or something like that. You get some basics into play, and or the one that better yet the one that accelerates the fire energies, right? And then you use the Yarmarouge to move them to the active, and then you get one Prism energy, and then you can as long as it's one of, say, one psychic plus a bunch of colorless energies, you have your options. So I you know
Yeah, and you wouldn't need armors there either. It could help. The one thing with that though that I think is kind of awkward. I mean, it's not necessarily awkward, but you could do that with luminous energy, right? Like in standard right
Yes,
now.
that's true. You can. This is right. You can have multiple special. So you want You're right. So and this is restricted to basics. And part of the thing is it needs to be a big basic deck because you don't want to be getting one shot probably for the effort it's going to take. That could be a problem. And yes, this one you want to have multiple special energies attached to make it really useful. Of course, Armourouge does do that. So if there was a basic Pokemon with enough HP that it's not getting one shot, and you could kind of cycle it around, right? Scoop it, move it around somehow. That could be good. I don't know if that exists in format though.
Yeah, I'm not sure just yet. Um, it's definitely pretty interesting. I think it'll see play. I mean, Luminous Energy will also eventually rotate. This will be around for a little while longer, and the metagame, of course, is going to change. Prism Energy, definitely a card I'm really excited for because Luminous Energy, as I said, has limitations, which sometimes come up. For example, I was playing some Control, and in that deck, it plays Luminous Energy, but it also plays a bunch of different special energies. So I was like, I think I kind of want to add some basic energies so I can do some different things. Um, but it's still awkward. So this is probably cool there. Yeah, I think it's good. I don't remember. There are some evolutions, but still, it's a really interesting card that I think is very fun. It was played in some basic toolbox decks when it was in standard. I think I saw a bunch of play. Um, and the metagame at that point, I believe, was like just big basics. So kind of like it was the perfect fit for the game. But yeah, we'll see if there are good basics in this set. Honestly, like because the Zekrom EX, Kyurem EX, and Reshiram EX would be the logical fits for that, but they're not like super tanky and they don't work super well with this, and they're not like insane either. Um, but this is probably the card I'm most excited for. But I think there's a card you're more excited for that is a reprint.
Oh, we're talking Sharon now. Draw three cards. Is that where
Um,
we're going?
I
Or
don't think
Professor's
so.
Research. We get with Juniper's back in format again.
Yeah, and True is also here still. Or I think research isn't even a new regulation mark. I don't know when the newest research regulation mark
Okay.
is. It's been printed with G. It's been printed with H. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay. So I assume you're talking about the tool card here, right?
Yeah.
Air balloon, which I really like it as a tool. It's a tool, and it's no longer an item, of course. So this is a completely different air balloon. Now it's the same air balloon. They just obviously updated the terminology as they changed the rules. But it reduces the retreat cost of your Pokemon by two colors energies. And yes, we have the one that reduces by one energy, but reducing by two in a lot of cases is what you need. So this is going to see it.
No. See,
What
Rescue Boy though. Rescue Boy can give you free retreat though.
it
Certain
is.
sometimes.
And have you ever done that?
I think I've attached it to like a Badu or a Cleffa and
Yes,
given it free retreat because it has 30 HP.
exactly. Yes. So, yeah. Look, there probably were times when I should have taken advantage of that, and I probably forgot. Right. I just have to, or probably maybe once. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe once. Because I was playing a deck with the supporter that if you're 30 HP or less, you heal all damage.
Oh yeah. What were you playing?
I don't remember. I think it might have been in one of the trainer trials. I forget what it was. So I don't know. It wasn't a good deck, but it was fun. When I when my opponent put me down to like 30 HP and I just boom healed myself up, right? And then they probably conceded after that. So
Yeah, maybe that's what we want because some people are playing what's that tool card, the survival brace,
yeah.
which keeps you alive, and then it's being played in Dragon Pulse, which I think is like bad. I think that's pretty bad. Oh, it's not being played that much. Okay. It's being played some online. I think it's really bad, but you can pair that with Bianca's Devotion and then heal up all the damage, which is like funny. As opposed to pairing it with like Monkey Door, where you heal up 30, so then you have 40 health left, which doesn't really matter. So yeah, this is definitely very useful information, right?
It is. Before we go, I think it might be on the shorter side. So I have one little funny tidbit to throw out at the end. So, but I'll save that till later to try to get back to the look. I think Air Balloon's a really good card. You probably don't think it's good as I do, but I think you'd have to agree it's a good card.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, I think, the best of the cards were. I don't know. I mean, the special energies are cool. Well, I guess research is better, but that doesn't really count. And there's some like solid cards, but yeah, Air Balloon is good. Especially, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to break it down? This definitely feels like your card.
Which one was it?
Air Balloon. Yeah.
What's the question? What'd you say?
Oh, I do. If you want to like break it down more.
I mean, look, and this is an I regulation, so I mean, I played this card a lot back when it was in format, and then I really don't know that I have much else to say with it.
Uh,
I'm not sure what I'm going to put it in, but it's gonna, but it will go in decks. Obviously, there's decks with the retreat cost of one. What do you call that card again? I'm terrible with these names.
rescue board.
Rescue board, but they do play some two retreat cost Pokemon, right? That's just such a common number that I'm gonna want to put an Air Balloon instead, right? Most decks, I think, it's gonna replace the rescue board, and it's just a really good card. So you can say
Yeah.
something you want to say about it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the like we talk about engine cards some, and this isn't entirely true now, but like for example, Enzorg, yeah, Enzorg EX is just a weird Pokemon, a little weird. It's just a little weird. And it has two retreat. It has
Yeah,
the stadium, which gives it free retreat, but it's hard to search out. Um, and it's like it only gives free retreat to Enzorg EX essentially if you're playing it in like
yeah,
something like Gardevoir, not End. So and then this is like generally common. Support Pokemon have two retreat. Some have one. But for example, Electric has two retreat, and Zoroark EX has two retreat. I'm sure there are some that I'm forgetting. This is more common pre-rotation because I played like Curlia, and
yeah,
I played like Control, and sometimes I played Curlia. I think I played Curlia, and I also played like Pidgeot EX, and you can't really get the Curlia out of the active because you can't penny it. Obviously, it's rotated, but then you would want something like Air Balloon, but that wasn't in the format. So you'd kind of struggle. You could like rescue board and then attach retreat, or you could use like a double turbo energy or something. But this definitely seems good for being able to retreat easier. I'm just kind of flipping through Pokemon, and I don't see too many that have two retreats. Something like Noctowl or Draco, they have one retreat, but this is still nice. It's probably like just better than rescue board. Um, and again, I think it's good. I think it'll end up being really good at some point. Um, and it being two as opposed to one will matter a lot at some point. I'm not sure when that point is. And again, like the game's kind of built around one retreat cost. Um, but I think it is something that for specifically support Pokemon. I mean, Electric again, that's the example of it, and we're going to see more cards presumably in that build in the future. I imagine. Oh, Goldengo EX, it's good for
mm,
that.
yeah.
You can draw an extra card there, so that's a pretty solid one. It's not like insane. Not that you're really looking to do that all the time, but that's cool. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, most of the other ones are one.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you're playing Ends, I haven't really used Enzor EX as an engine for non ends, for non decks, for decks that aren't attacking with it. But obviously, you can do that. And now having Air Balloon makes that more viable, right? Because you're less likely to get stuck in the active. And there are three retreat cost Pokemon out there too that you like in some decks. And it's really terrible when they get stuck, right? So now if you if you can attach the tool and attach a single energy, you can retreat into your attacker because usually that your opponent gusts up is like for kind of a boss stall turn, right? When they can't knock you out, so you already have your attacker powered up. So it'll see some use in that type of thing as well. So this will switches will reduce in decks because of this, right? Because that with that second energy it provides, I think switches drop off some. If it sees a lot of play, then the was it jamming tower, right? That's the stadium that will stop it. Could
Yeah.
if it starts to see a lot of play, then you start to see a little bit more jamming tower play, which I see at times now, and certainly often when I do, I'm very sad that my opponent put it in play and stops like my TM energize from working.
Yeah, Jamming Tower. I feel like Jamming Tower is like fine. Like Team Tower Energize and like Team Evolution. I feel like that's a little more common. If you have like early game tools, and then I know it's like a little disruptive. But anyways, yeah, Air Balloon is definitely a really good tool. It's like float. Oh, so people sometimes talk about Floatstone as well, which gives you free retreat. And Floatstone is a card that presumably is never going to come back. We've seen Rescue Board, which is objectively worse than Floatstone. Air Balloon, objectively worse than Floatstone. And so presumably probably wants not bring it back. I don't think it would be super overpowered or anything. It'd be a little bit better. There also are some attackers with two retreat. And there's a Gardevoir EX. Again, these don't matter too much, but it's nice to have. Then we have the last card here, Hilda. This is a supporter card, and or I don't think we actually did. So Charon's getting a reprint. It's draw three.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter, but that's a thing. Um, then we are in this I regulation mark. We got a new research art, but that's not a new regulation mark. We got energy retrieval. Is that a new regulation mark? Um,
It might be. It's
um,
I, so I don't know if there is an I in format or not, but
yeah, no, I think it is. So that's like cool, I guess, but probably not expecting that to go anywhere. Um, and then we have Hilda. Hilda's a supporter here. This is the last new card. It says search your deck for an evolution Pokemon and and an energy card, which can be a special energy. Okay, then reveal and put them
yeah.
into your hand and shuffle your deck. This is interesting because I played Colossus Tenacity a decent amount. Um, and this is so I played it in Feraliator, which by the way I've said this before. Closest nasty. I think it's with Grand Tree is the better way to play it, but then it's like Grand Tree, right? So that's a big part of the deck. Getting the energy is nice, but the bigger thing's the stadium. But um, it's interesting. I think this is definitely is kind of like Arvin, kind of like closest to nasty. It's okay.
Yeah, look, first off, well, Colors Tenacity, when we talked about the tier 2 supporters, was really unique because there's not many cards that search for any type of energy, which this new card does, but also Colors Tenacity searches for a stadium, which is really unique as well. But like back in the day, I would play Piers some. Partly I would play Eternatus, which you'd make fun of me for that, or play Wheezing decks with the hiding darkness energy. But there are other decks that, because that searched for what a darkness Pokemon and any energy, and there are decks that didn't play darkness Pokemon that still would play Piers just because that energy search was very valuable. So I like it. Searching for an evolution, you because there's the supporter. Again, I'm blanking the names. The one that searches for two basics or one evolution. You
Yeah, Brock's scouting, training, scouting.
Proc scouting, yeah. So, and a lot of times you're using that for one, just the evolution. In which case, this is better than that card on that turn. So, for special energy, and obviously we're getting at least two good special energies with this set, and obviously there's good special energies around anyway. So Hilda, it'll definitely see use for decks that need special energies. The ability to search special energy is a big deal.
Yeah, and like Surgeon Evolution is pretty good for most. I mean, for like probably a good chunk of decks. It can get knocked out. It can get like engine pieces. A lot of those are evolutions, so that's kind of fun. Um, it's not always good, right? Special energies also there aren't any that are really special energies just aren't super strong. Prism energy and ignition energy are definitely nice additions to the pool. They're not like insane though. We don't have any energies that are like drawing you cards. I don't think. It's certainly nothing insane. Like for example, capture energy is like a really strong special energy we saw.
Yeah.
A while ago. But we don't have anything that just draws like we don't have lucky energy or no, sorry, gift energy or lucky energy. But we don't have gift energy, which was pretty good and could have given more value to a card like this. But I think we'll see more special energies getting better in the future as well. I think because of Lugia, I think we actually saw less, and also because of the fact that I don't know, we just haven't seen strong special energies, but I feel like they're kind of going to make a comeback.
I think so. I hope so. I liked, obviously, Lugia came along and kind of spoiled the party, but all those type specific special energies that did certain things. The lightning one that drew two cards, if I recall, when you attached it.
Yeah,
What was that one called again? That energy?
speed lightning or just speed energy.
Yeah, so it's the speed energy. I guess speed lightning is what I referred to it as, but I don't know if that was actually technically correct. A really good, there are some good lightning decks and a really good energy there. So I would like to see some type specific energies, and if those are in some decks, then a card like Hilda will see some play. I would imagine. So Hilda's, it's not like a busted card, but it's it'll see value for sure in things. And so we've seen what, less than 10% of the cards for this set, maybe 10% of the cards at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, something around there. Maybe a little more. I don't remember, but we're gonna see more. We're gonna see more reprints. Oh, wait a second. Is Garbodor a Gen? Garbodor's Gen 5, isn't it? Okay. Well, that might be coming back. I hope that's not the one that ability locks everything. But yeah, I mean, it could be.
The Garbodor, what was the ability called, by the way?
With Garbotoxin, which shut things down.
Okay. Is that legal? It's legal in expanded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually can be and yeah, full expanded, not live expanded. Can be used to play Palafin EX, which is cool because they changed the way ability lock works. Or yeah, they changed the way it works. So right now, like Iron Thorns EX stops ability lock in play, but Garbodor also stopped it in hand. So you could do that, which is cool, I guess.
And discard pile too, right? But
Yeah.
not deck. If there was something deck specific, it wouldn't apply to that. I'm just trying to read through that. That's an interesting one. I would imagine that they wouldn't print it with that same ability. I would imagine they would change that, so it's probably just in play or something. I would think.
Yeah, they'd probably set it to like how they word it now. So I imagine we're not gonna be able to pair it with Palafin, but that might happen. I hope not. Personally, we're gonna see a Zoroark. Zoroark tends to get cool cards as well. And I'm trying to think if there's any cards that I'm thinking we're definitely gonna see. Like that are iconic black and white cards that are gonna get reprinted. We could see plasma. No, we're not gonna see plasma stuff. We could see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see the Landorus EX coming back, but I don't know exactly how good. Oh, I clicked on the wrong form of Landorus apparently. How good that would be, right? It's they need to scale up its power quite a bit because it doesn't really fit in the current standard. But yeah, you said you had something you wanted to say as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was playing some. We were both playing control lately, I think, or walling decks. I was playing Iron Thorns, which it's a good deck if just Iron Thorns. It does never got respect.
Oh,
One Worlds, but I paired it rather than Mimikyu. I paired it with Sylveon, the single prize Sylveon, and it's a lot of fun when your opponent. It's got the safeguard ability, immune to prevent all damage to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's EXs. So very good now. Does 100 damage, has 120 HP. But you're playing against opponent with the Mewtwo EX, or wait, no, Mew EX, right? Mew EX, and they're powering
yeah,
it up because that's what you do to take out the Mimikyu. They power it up. They hit into me, and it does nothing because my attack does damage, doesn't place damage counters, and that happened multiple times. So that was very enjoyable this past week for me, I gotta say.
yeah. I'm sure it was enjoyable for your opponents as well. Um, yeah, no, Sylveon's like okay. That's better. That's one good use of it. I mean, you could also Mist Energy Mimikyu, but I'm not actually like a big fan of Mist Energy Mimikyu. I think it's like okay, but I don't think it's necessary. Um, for example, in Feraligatr, I certainly don't play Mist Energy. But yeah,
Well,
that's very exciting.
and it's got the 120 HP instead of 70, so that actually is meaningful as well, I gotta say.
Yeah,
So
and it does more damage. Like it's strong in the Mimikyu. It's okay. Are you gonna be playing the new Crustle?
what?
Crustle will get hit by by Mew though.
What's the Crustal do? I try to.
It has the same ability essentially, and it does 150 HP, does 120 for grass colors. Then it does hit through effects of attacks.
Okay.
I think we talked about it on the podcast with Yan Mega EX, and I think you saw one that was also a Feraligatr
Hmm.
Crustalist. I think we didn't end up talking about that.
Okay.
Um,
I
oh, and
don't.
this one apparently plays Shaman, the side deck that's not out, that might not be out, and it plays a bunch of different things here.
I mean, if the HP is good with the Sylveon compared to me because once you attach the luxurious cape, you're at 220. So single prize Pokemon now have to hit into me like the pre-evolutions, right? Like have to hit into me like 4 times or something, right? Like with the Dracloak or the Charmeleon. So I knock them out before they take me out. So it actually it really kind of fixed a lot of situations, I gotta say. So hopefully, I assume it doesn't get played. Hopefully, it doesn't get played too much because it's you don't want to see that type of stuff too much. But it It's kind of fun. And wall decks are you were playing more standard wall deck, I think, right? Which are pretty solid now too.
Me, I
Yeah,
haven't
I
really
thought
messed
you
with
haven't been
that.
playing wall decks. Okay, well you're a better.
I've been playing. So I said control. I
Oh,
was playing
control.
Kajak control.
Okay,
Um,
okay, all right. Well, that might be
which,
worse
yeah, no, that
for the
might be.
world.
But and random other side note, as
Yeah,
we're wrapping up here, I've also been playing some Pocket, and they added the Oricorio, which I assume you're not really playing Pocket, right?
I've been doing some pocket. I'm still kind of getting cards. I will say I'm finding it much harder to get Pokemon the EXs now, and I wonder if that's actually. I don't know if it's just my experience or if that's what they did to keep it looser earlier to get people in because they made Shiny Revelry, which had like a million EXs, and I've done terrible with that. And now with these new sets, I've opened a decent amount of packs, and it's just going slower than the past. I gotta say, but
Yeah, it might have to do with pull rates. I think the EX thing, I still don't remember what the pull rates are. But there are other cards, right? There are like the shiny Pokemon that might be taking up the same slot, which are
yeah,
probably less excited to see.
that's true. Every time I pull a shiny Pokemon, because I just want to be able to play the decks I want to play, I am sad when I pull a shiny Pokemon. I will say because I'm thinking
Yeah.
that could have been an EX I wanted.
Yep. But then there's the Oricorio, which is like Mimikyu. I've been playing in Pocket with some different things with Darkrai EX. I've actually been playing a little bit of ranked, which is kind of fun. It's nothing absolutely crazy, but it's just a solid experience. And then yeah, I've been doing that, and Oricorio. So we're playing the same thing. And it's actually like about as strong as Mimikyu, except it's in Pocket, so it's like better because the stat lines are weaker. But regardless, we're definitely gonna see some more Pokemon from the set. I'm really excited for it. Black and White is Gen 5 is my favorite generation. I don't have a like crazy bias or anything, but I do like it and excited to see some Pokemon from it. If your Pokemon Duat didn't get a very good card here, unfortunately. But we got some stuff. We got Dynamotor, we got Prism Energy. So, but I think that's all for today's podcast. But consider checking us out on YouTube at 10 Types and Uncommon Fossil and on other podcast platforms if you want to listen to us there. But we hope you enjoyed. And as always, we're excited to see you in the next episode.
Take care.